Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another workshop, the Tuesday workshop by OPM Tools. I'm Mustafa Shahid. We have Govind Powell, and we have our other guests here as well. And the topic for today is how to scale your business using OPM Tools. And that's Govind, and Govind, off you go.
So we're just going to be going over a few of the features within OPM tools that will definitely help your business scale better, as well as just simple and easy tools that you can just get going right from the start. So from the very start, you have now what the opportunity board is an organized list of contacts based on what their specific needs are. So say for example, also, they're separated into pipelines, and let me go into what a pipeline is. So, a pipeline is what is basically this list is. It will have different columns that you can put contacts into, so ranging from whatever you decide to call the column. So, for this list, we have deferred, cold campaign, new leads, contacted, hot leads, booked appointment, proposal sent. So this is just keep an organized tally of what our clients are at within this pipeline, and if we need to contact them, if we need to send them a proposal, if they're a hot lead or if they're a cold lead and they need some nurturing, that is what this is supposed to tell us and inform us and just keep things organized. But if you want to create your own pipeline, what you want to do is go to pipelines in the top, go to create pipeline, and for this let's just do a dummy pipeline, and something simple and easy is cold lead, hot lead, deferred, and one. Now once that's created, we can go to the top left right here, go to the new pipeline that we just created, and there we go. We have our new pipeline, and this is a very simple and easy formula that you can get started and keep your contacts organized. Now, to actually add some context to this the opportunity board, what you want to go to is click on Add Opportunity. And then what you can do here is either select from the list of contacts that you've already made, or you can also create an entirely new contact on this page as well. So what I'm going to do is use dummy user 2, dummyuser@gmail.com, and I don't believe I believe it will check if it's an actual phone number or not, so I'm going to leave that blank. 2, and then click on this button, dummy user 2, create new contact. And what that will do is it will create an entirely new contact page for that person, automatically propagating the email and phone number if it was filled in. So let's do that. Let's create the username again, gmail.com. And then you want to go to, let's see, pipeline, and then select the stage that you want them to be in. So for this, we would want them to be a cold lead. Once the status, this is basically just a simple tag that you can select. It'll basically just briefly describe what their condition is if the stage is not enough. You can put the opportunity value as well as the owner. The owner basically lets the person assigned to them. The owner is basically the person who the contact is assigned to, pretty much. So you can choose from anyone from your list of employees, as well as any sub owners as well. Their business name and their source. Their source, just another simple tag. You say, like, how did you hear about us? Did you hear us from Facebook, Instagram, so on? And that's what you do. Adding tags, additional tags that are also very important, just to describe the situation they're in and what their requirements are, as well as additional notes. So once we create that, there we go. And we have a bunch of new options available. But next, let's click on notes. And what the notes are is basically describing the situation or their request for this contact. So what you would do then is add note and just give a brief description as to what services they require. just to help there to be as much communication as possible amongst your team. And so once that's done, here you have your new dummy user within the cold lead opportunity. And
Hey, Cohen.
Yes.
Hey, Cohen, if you can go back to, I believe, where you were at before, where you're creating it. I got a question as far as the opportunity value goes.
Yes.
How would you come up with that?
I would say you would give it an average, but also if they're buying a specific service, say for example your service is $120, and you're trying to sell them on that service, then you would want to make the opportunity value 120. But Mr. Do you have any other ideas as to what that would be used
Yeah,
for?
I mean, what you can do is, let's say you're in the staffing business, so you provide employees to a variety of different industries. So if don't do this, but you can have like an individual pipeline for each industry. Now you know the rates of each industry's hourly rate. You multiply the hourly rate with the average amount of hours that they do need an employee for, and you get your number. So it can be an average value. An average value would be how you see what your potential client is worth. It could be $1,000, it could be $10,000. Anything that would make sense to you, but it shouldn't be zero, and it shouldn't be an enormous number like $100 million or something like that. So it should be something that provides you that feedback or understanding. Okay, this much amount of potential value I have within the open stage, this much is within the closing stage, this is the amount of business within the interested negotiation stage. So you can then allot your resources based on that, based on the monetary figure instead of how many leads you have. Does that make sense? And you can also like give either automatic value using workflows and automations, or you can do it manually as well.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense because I'm pretty sure that opportunity value is going to provide some type of data. Like when you're
Absolutely.
going to, like maybe whether it be closed or the one, or those that are outstanding, like how much potential money that we're leaving on the table, for example.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. Because when you go to the dashboard and you see all of these numerical values, there's monetary values, and it pops up on a chart or a pie chart or some sort of visual representation. That's when you understand, okay, within my entire process that I've built out, and with the amount of leads or contacts or potential clients I have within the system, where is all the money? Is it won? Is it lost? Is it still in cold? Is it in some negotiation stage where we are sending the contracts? Where is the most amount of money, or what is the bottleneck that we are facing? So you can focus your attention, you can focus your time, you can focus your resources on that particular step. So that's, and
I
you
gotcha.
can keep, and you can keep the opportunity value at zero, but then again you'll still have the number of leads on each stage, but you won't see the monetary value. So I think you won't have the proper motivation for that probably. So again, it's entirely up to you.
I got you.
Yeah, the purpose of these fields is just as much communication as possible. Like you said, the opportunity value, it's really generally up to your interpretation. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the opportunity board. A nice simple and easy introduction. Next, let's go into the market. Now, the marketing tab is generally where your social media is going to be, whether that be the social media images and posts or videos, whatever you decide to put on your Instagram. And let me just go over all of the available platforms. So we have Google My Business, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and YouTube. Unfortunately, Twitter is no longer a platform that we provide. But yeah, you can use the marketing tab to post all kinds of social media posts through all these different platforms. And what you can do on the social planner is just see a preview of all the posts that you have scheduled out, whether that be through a list or on a calendar. And on the calendar, you can also switch around where you want the post to be. If it's already been scheduled, you can easily switch it over to a different date. And then simple enough. Now, as far as actually making a new post, what you want to do is go to New Post, create New Post, choose the platforms that you want to make the social media post for. Let's just say for all of them. And here we are. Here's where you would write the description, the bio, or just the content of the post. And we can also integrate AI within this as well. So by clicking on the AI button, if you generate, We can choose a title of what we want this post to be about. So make a, let's see, and then we choose keywords. So let's just go with marketing. Let's go with friendly, and then select the writing tone. And let's go with, let's see. As we can see, we have plenty of writing tones as well. So let's go with persuasive, and we can choose how many variants we have of what the AI is going to generate. We can also choose the length. You want to be careful with this, as some platforms have a word limit as well. So normally I would go with small or medium. So let's go with small. And here we go. What I wrote down was ready to elevate your brand's presence. Our marketing services are designed to capture attention and engage audience like never before. With a friendly approach that resonates with your customers, we're here to catapult your business into the spotlight. Let's make marketing magic happen together. And then it's nice enough to even add some hashtags as well and some little emojis. So, and here we have the two other variations as well. So for this, let me just go with the first one because that sounds best. I'll give it a thumbs up and hit continue. Now we do need to use a picture. What we can do for this is if we add any images to your media storage, you can immediately go to upload from media library. And we have access to our media storage as well, but that's only if you upload any images to the media storage. We also have create image using AI as well. This can either be hit or miss. AI is not the most advanced yet, but it can get the point across sometimes. For this, I think let's see, do we have any suggestions?
How about you type in something brand presence or marketing brand presence?
It'll just take a second. And there we go. As we can see, the AI is not the best at making words, but the picture itself is actually pretty good. So if you're able to screenshot this and just take the picture of the man crossing his arms and just use that as the picture, that could work as well. But let's just say, for example, we do want to use this, hit continue. And there we go. We just made our first social media post. Now we just need to schedule it out. I'm obviously not going to actually schedule it out, but just to give you an example, we can choose the date picker and just choose from any of these months and pick a specific day, as well as a specific time as to when this wants to be posted. Normally, we want to do it during work hours so that it actually reaches the audience so that when they're awake. So once you do that, you would schedule your post, and then it would end up back onto the social planner, ready to go. And that is just a brief introduction to the marketing tab. And
so when you select a date on there, Cohen, does it actually list you can select the time?
Yeah, you can select the time.
Okay.
AM or PM as well. And I think I'm going to pass it over to Mustafa, where I think he's going to go over some of the automations as well.
Okay, so before I talk about automation, I like to always talk more about the topic at hand before I show you why we are going about it. So the topic for today is how to scale your business using OPM tools. And I was searching online and I found out that for every business, whenever a business starts, the first step is always foundational, fundamental structure. So something they have to stand on, something that is basic, something that holds them together. But once the fundamentals have been in place, when the foundations have been laid out, the two steps or two different channels that they have to either divert towards is either scale or grow. And I was thinking to myself, like, isn't that the same thing? Either you scale or you grow. Turns out it's not. And that was something really interesting to me because that invoked my curiosity. And I was like, okay, then what's the difference? Turns out Growing or growth part of a business is when they understand that we need to invest more in order to earn more. Invest what more? So, for example, if you, let's say you have 5 clients and you want 10 more. So, your team that you currently have that is handling those 5 clients, if you want to double your clients, you'll have to double your team. That's basic maths. Or if you're getting, let's say, $100,000 in business from one city and you want to expand to another city, you might need to set up an office there as well, because you realize that your physical presence is needed. So you need to make some monetary contributions or monetary investments in the cases of growth. So the more you spend, the more you grow. That's one path that a business takes. The other path, it could be a simultaneous or a standalone path that a business takes, is scale. Now, what's the difference between scale? What is the unique part about scale? Scale is when you don't invest that much amount of money that you would do in growth. Let's say 5% of what the growing part was, or the growth part was. So, for example, if you have to spend $100,000 to grow in terms of growth, you would only spend 5,000 or maybe $1,000 in order to scale. But what is scale? Scaling is when you perform your task at a bulk level, or a bulk, yeah, level was the right word, sorry. So when you perform your task on a bulk level, on a massive scale, without the extra time, without the extra effort. So for example, if you're reaching out to 100 clients today and you're typing out these personalized emails every day, and you want to reach out to 10,000 emails now, or to 10,000 people, you use an automation and you send out those 10,000 bulk emails. If you are trying to post these social media posts every day, and you are creating it by your own self, you're coming up with the words, you're finding the pictures online, or you're taking the pictures by yourself, and suddenly you see, okay, there's AI. I can just give a basic prompt to ChatGPT and get all the 30-day or 90-day posts in advance. I can create it on a calendar basis and schedule it all out. That's awesome. Now you can have the time to invest yourself on more different channels like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter if you want to do it manually, because we don't provide the automations for that. But you can even do it for TikTok and Threads, and there's so many now I don't even remember the names. So scaling is when you are ready to automate, or automate your entire system, so that you have to spend the least amount of time. And the word scale would come in effect is when your time investment or your automation of the entire process results in a growth of your business or your sales. The topic for today is scale. So the reason why we chose this topic for today is because we want to show that all the features and the assets that you have within OPM, how can you use them to scale? Now, before I jump onto that, again, I like to talk. I want to show you, tell you something more. The biggest problem a business owner or a decision maker gets is what? The available number of options they have to choose from. So even if right now, if I share my screen, not the captions, share my screen, go to OPM tools over here. Let's say we are in the sites and we have the options of building what we want. The question is, what do you want to start off with? Do you want to build a landing page? Do you want to build a form, a survey, a quiz, a QR code? If you choose a landing page, what type of landing page? Do you want to be a lead generation? Do you want it to be an educational, navigational, transactional? What do you want? Do you want to make a product? Does it need to be a physical product? Does it have to be a digital product? If you choose, let's say, I want to get leads online, all right. Which lead method would you like to make? A QR code, a catalog, an ebook, a digital product, a case study, a guide? What do you want to create? So with everything, that is every option that I bring forward to you, it brings more confusion. Even if you understand the concept behind it, even if you have the clarity of why it should be used, the confusion part is what you pick. All right, so that's a problem. And when it comes to scaling, you need to understand that you need to take decisive actions. It's not about trying to get all at the same time. You go with one, you scale it out, then you go with the other, you scale it out, you go with the third one, you scale it out. So that's all I wanted to just give you the context before I start. So when you are in the funnels, in the, let's say you have decided, okay, I want to have separate landing pages. The reason you might want to have separate landing pages would be either if you want to run ads, and you want to check whether my ads are converting based on the landing pages or not. So you're getting the traffic with running the ads, but you don't know if whether that traffic is being handled by the landing page or the funnel appropriately or not. So you may have like multiple different landing pages to check out if whether those landing pages are converting or not. Again, because you're spending money, you need to understand which channel is providing the best amount of money or giving you the best returns. So within funnels, you have like a plethora of different funnels. And I will highly recommend you to use Funnel AI or just use templates. So if you go into templates, you will find plethora of different templates. Let's say you have, if you scroll down to the types, you'll have free resource and download. So upside down funnel, no, that's a nice name. Let's see what it has. Want to convert more visitors into leads, download the free guide now. Again, that's awesome. Nice. Even I haven't explored all the templates, so please don't hold that against me. But I'm learning as you are right now with you. So it's like a collaborative effort. So within funnels, you have the options of creating your own funnels. You can check out the template library. Please do check out the template library. You'll find a plethora of different options. And then you can even use Funnel AI. A Funnel AI will give you just the structure and maybe the colors and the typography or the content within it. And you can then change it out using Content AI. But we can cross that bridge when we get there. But right now it's about scalability. So let's say you have built your assets. All right, the funnels are ready, the QR codes are ready, the forms and the surveys are ready, the quizzes are ready. That's the assets. Then we move into the opportunities. The pipelines are ready. So where will these leads drop into? Which stage? What will they be doing? What will happen? Then you have also the marketing setup. So within the marketing, you have your email setup, you have the social planner setup, you have the trigger link setup. Every process or every prerequisite of the process is ready. Where do you go? Then you finally go into the automations. This is where you scale, and this is how you scale. So, for example, start from scratch or select a recipe. You can look at the different recipes there are to see if any one of them fits your use case. So, for example, if you are running some sort of a product within the app or within the software, you can utilize the recover abandoned cards. So if someone has filled out the first page of the form, but not the final page of the form, the first page is usually the contact information, and the last page or the second page contains their card information. So if someone has shown intent by selecting a product on your landing page and they filled out the first part of the form, their contact information, but they chose to abandon it and not to go through with it, you can utilize this particular workflow so that the system will automatically reach out to them instead of you having to reach out to them individually. And then you can decide on what the email would be like. You can have with Shopify, you can have a normal recovery email. WhatsApp is not something I want to go into right now. You can utilize comments. All right. So now, previously, Coven was talking about how you can set up your social media planner and you can post these amazing posts every day, every week, every month, whatever your cycle is like. But is it okay, or is it the only thing that you should do when it comes to social media? What you can do further is that you can make your content in a way that whenever someone replies to your content, or you make it so that people will actually reply to the content. And what I mean by that is, reply now to get my free guide. Reply now to get my case study. Reply now to see what we do. Reply now to book an appointment. Reply now to jump to a live webinar we are having regarding how you can scale your business with staffing your whatever your needs are. So for example, whatever that use case would be, you'd be the better judge of that. Since it's your industry, I'm just shooting out random ideas since I don't know. So when you have those social media posts carved out that way, where it says reply now or message us, something like that, you can have an automation so that the system will auto reply to them on the DM and leave a comment as well. So for example, if someone says, okay, I need your guide now, the system will automatically reply to them within that same comment. Absolutely, please check your DMs within the next 1 to 2 minutes and we'll get back to yours. You'll receive our message. You or the business owner will not be reaching out to them personally, privately, or manually. The system will do it automatically. And that is how, when you have like thousands of people or hundreds of people, hopefully thousands, but if you have hundreds of people who are trying to reach you out or trying to get what you're providing on social media, you wouldn't have to do it or handle it manually. The system will take care of it. Now, if the system can handle 100, the system can handle 100,000 as well. But if you can handle 100 in a day, can you handle 100,000 in a day? No. That's where scalability comes in. Then we have the email drip sequence. Again, in the recipe, email drip sequence works really well with cold emails or outreach or nurture methods. When you have your clients or your list of people that you haven't interacted with, or you have interacted with them but they did not show a good response, or the people who has purchased your services or your products and you want to reach out to them, so that would be data reactivation. So you have the cold outreach, the nurture, and the data reactivation. These are the standard email sequences, and there can be more, and there would be more if you search for it. But if you go with these three, instead of you trying to figure out which people are within the cold, which people are within the nurture stage, which people are within the data reactivation stage, the system can do it for you, reaching out to them and having that conversation back and forth with them instead of you having to do it. Even if they click within an email, if they click on a link, let's say to your website page or to a form page, or it could be any page, it could be a form, survey, information, product, whatever page you want. If they click on it, the system will understand it. If you want an alert, the system can alert you as well, or the system can handle it on its own. So you can automate it. And the reason, again, I say why you automate it is you automate it so that the system can handle when the bulk hits. Because the only problem that businesses usually feel is either A, they're not making enough sales, or B, if they do make enough sales, will the system be able to handle it? Because if they haven't automated everything, they'll have to do it manually. So for example, if you're working with 5 or 10 or 50 or 100 leads right now, and you have a team size of 5 people and everyone is casually calling them making calls, 30 calls a day, your team members, and they're emailing them and they are sending them in an SMS and they're reaching out to them on Facebook and LinkedIn, it's good. What if the leads turn out to be 100,000 or 10,000? Would they be able to do it? No. Why? Because they don't have the system in place to do it for them. Within the recipes, you also have webinar registration confirmation. You have the FAQ auto replies. You have the appointment confirmation, reminders, survey, and review request. What that is if someone puts an appointment on your calendar, they will get the reminder emails that you have an email within 1 day, you have an email after 12 hours, you have an email after 3 hours, you have appointment. You have an appointment after 1 day, appointment after 1 hour, appointment after 15 minutes. So get ready, get your laptop out or your system out and get excited to meet Robert Flores of Staffing Agency 101. Something like that. When the appointment has been completed, the person who was the host would get an email. Did Mustafa Shahid show up to the appointment or not? If you click on yes, my status or my appointment status would be changed to showed up. If you click on no, it will be changed to no show. Why is that important? If I showed up, I would be receiving the email to leave a review for Robert on how you found his company. If you click on no and I was a no show, I would get an email, hey, you missed your appointment, would you like to reschedule? Or something like that. That is a sequence. Again, if that sequence was something you had to do manually, it would take you a lot of time. But if you have set up an automation to do it, flawless execution every time and consistency across the board. Then you have appointment booking, FB Messenger, auto miss call TEDs back, and list reactivation. So these are the recipes. The recipes are very limited, but the human brain is not. So if you can come up with an automation, we can help you build it. So let's go with start from scratch. And I will not be going or taking you to a deep tour of automations, just showing you what can be done or what things we can do. So one of the basic features within any business is sales. And one of the major channels of sales is calls. So you have to cold calls. So let's see what the system can do. Just to give you an example. Within every call, if the person is making calls through the system provided dialer, which is the auto dialer, and he's doing within the system recommended process, which is the manual dialer, in which they have the list of people they have to call one by one, and the system connects them to the person on the list, on the queue, one by one. So if they are making their calls that way, After each call it has ended, it will give them four options. If the call was completed, if the call was busy, no answer, or voicemail. These are the four options it gives. Now, within automations, what you can do is you can select the call status. So, for example, if the call status was completed and you change the name, call completed, save, and then you add another trigger, call status. This would be call went to voicemail, add filter, call status, voicemail. I'm just going to use these two just to give you the idea of what can be done. Then you basically select if else, so to branch it out. So the branch would be, and you have the already built ones, or you can build your own. So availability, contact active, hashtag. Nope. I'm going to choose the workflow trigger is call completed. And then I'm going to duplicate this voicemail, save. All right. So what it shows is whenever a call is completed or a call has went to voicemail, the system will check whether the call was completed or voicemail. If it was completed, you can send out an email to the person that the call was placed with. Thank you for taking the time to speak into one of our representative, or to speak in with Robert, or to speak in with Mustafa. And based on the conversation we had, this is the entire portfolio. This is our brochure, or this is our documentation for the services that we just told you about on the call. That's one aspect. You can build it out as much as you want. If the call went to voicemail, what you can do is you can leave a voicemail if you want to, like I right after the beep. But if you want to keep this, if you want to keep the same message across the board, so that every time the same voicemail message goes out to the person, you can just send out a voicemail from here, and then you upload a file, whatever the file is, and then you send out a voicemail. Now, this is just a one short aspect of what automation can do, but the reason why we are focusing or emphasizing on automations and building these assets and features within OPM tools and OPM software is so you can focus on scale. Now, the best way, in my personal opinion, I'm not pushing it on you or giving you an agenda, but in my personal opinion, when it comes to growing a business with scalability and growth, the first step should be scalability. So you can automate the majority of your operations, you can build the assets as much as you can, and then you can utilize the technology at your hand to grow monetarily wise your business as much as possible. Once you hit that cap, and there is a cap when you're working with scalability, once you hit that cap where you realize, okay, now I need to expand my team, I need to invest in leads, I need to make monetary investments into my business and go for growth, you will be at least be sure that my system is capable enough to handle as much traffic as I throw it. That's what scalability and growth is, where they differ it out, and why you go for scalability, and how the system, the OPM tools, is capable enough to build out scalable systems for you. The question is, for me, I'm just a person who's working in this software side. You're a person who's working in the actual business. You have, we have an actual business as well. All right, I'm not denying Oren's contribution, but what I'm saying is you are more into the B2C and the B2B business. What do you feel about scalability and growth? Like, how do you navigate through it? On where do you want to invest your time, or where do you want to invest your resources? And by resources, obviously not just your manpower, but also your monetary investments. Like, how do you maneuver through it, or made the decisions based off?
Definitely, I look at before even scaling, I'm looking at growth. And I think you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people misinterpret the scaling and growth, it being the same thing when it's not. So I look at the growth aspect of it. How many, what I'm doing month over month, year over year, and I'm looking at those analytics. So definitely growth in my book.
Because it's the same way, like if you, all right, I just had a very, I wouldn't call it stupid, but I can't find a better word for it, but I just got an example. So if I was in the chef or in a bakery business and I have to crack these eggs every day, and these are like 100 eggs, for example, I can do that within, let's say, an hour or two. But if I want to grow my business overall, and I want to build out hundreds of kits every day because I have the selling potential, I can't be opening or tracking these ads, 1,000 of ads every day I'll just I'll just pay an engineer to build me a machine, or I'll just buy a machine from Walmart or somewhere, that automatic egg breaker yolk separator machine, and I'll just put in the eggs and I let the system handle it for me. So for me, that would be my go-to case study. For some people, it might be to hire more people to do it for them. But again, every different aspect has their own pros and cons. I'm not saying that every system that we build within OPM is perfect, is flawless. I mean, everything needs to be updated over time. But then again, when you're actually working with businesses who have to make that investment, either the monetary investment or the time investment, even if they have to change out their existing system and transition over to something different, something new, something better, I don't know, but something different, it requires a lot of thinking. And that's what I'm curious about. What part of their brain, or what's the logic or their sense behind making that particular change? So that's something I find it really curious and really interesting. And that's what I'm aimed forward towards, learning more about what drives people or drives companies. So yeah, any questions based on everything everything Cohen showed and everything I talked about? All right, Robert, it was wonderful having you here. I wouldn't be taking much of your time. Yeah, and that would conclude our meeting for today. And I hope to see you next week as well, you and your entire team.